In today's Leeds news, one in but more to come. Calvert-Lewin, player of the month. Harrison to Fiorentina. Bornauw comments on his lack of minutes, and Baturina and Noah Lang in the rumour mill. Hey folks, welcome to the Leeds View on Friday the 16th of January with your Leeds United news. Jer here with a bit of stuff to give you. Bit of a quieter day than it was yesterday. Yesterday was action-packed, so it is a much quieter day today. There is some details to give you though on the moves that have happened and potential moves to come for Leeds United. Also, we did the podcast last night. Andrea Russo joined us to talk about what's been said in Italy around the Jack Harrison move to Fiorentina. We've got some more detail on that today as well. Also, the Bigup predictions are available over on bigup.com as part of our watch long. If you want to go over and join us there, it is completely free. There's no ads. You don't have to watch it at all. You can just go over and enter the predictions. If you want to be in with a chance of winning some prizes, you can just scan that code and it'll bring you straight in there. Right, we got a bit of stuff to get stuck into today, but the first thing just to give you an update on is the Artem Dobic link to Leeds is dead. Done and dusted. Won't be happening. The player's undergoing surgery today on his thigh injury, so you can write that one off completely. That ain't happening. It did feel like agent talk, but it's definitely not happening now. But we'll start off with the main news today, and we'll get into the one in, one to come, maybe. Facundo Buonanotte is in the door, and it ticks one of the boxes that Leeds failed to get during the summer and gives Daniel Farke a little bit more flexibility and options in attack for the rest of this season. But Leeds arguably need a couple of more additions just to make sure they've got all their bases covered for the run into the season. Daniel Farke yesterday in his press conference pretty much alluded to exactly the same thing, that he would also like a couple of more after some creative questions were asked during the press conference yesterday in some clever questioning from the media in an attempt to get around Daniel Farke's usual dismissive nature when it comes to talk around January deals. He was asked what he wanted to get from the transfer window and if he was confident that there will be more than maybe one addition coming in this month. And Farke did bat a lot of the question away, saying we wouldn't see the 6 in, 6 out turnaround of players that we saw during the summer. But he did say that there was room for 1, 2 or 3 additions if the right player came up and if the right set of circumstances arose for Leeds. Farke also indicated where we're likely to see Facundo Buonanotte played when he does get a chance to get into the side, and he said during the press conference that he has played maybe more defensive players in a certain position, and it's nice to have a specialist now, which would give the indication that he sees Buonanotte playing as an attacking midfielder or in one of those two positions behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin, or even as a support for Calvert-Lewin as well. It's a good player to get in, done and dusted, very quick move, very quiet. Leeds like to operate in silence, and they definitely did that yesterday. Came out of nowhere and was done and dusted within a couple of hours. So yeah, that's one in the door. Potentially Daniel Farke wants a couple of more. There's a few more rumours floating around, but yeah, he was linked with Leeds. We did cover it at the start of January as a potential option if the loan was cancelled. Apparently all parties were keen on that loan being cancelled, and now we've got a player in that will definitely give us a little bit more creative flair as Daniel Farke wanted for the second half of the season. And he is available for this weekend's game against Fulham. Let's move on. Let's talk about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It's been a hell of a month for Dominic Calvert-Lewin in December. He picked up the Leeds United Fans Player of the Month award. He picked up the Leeds United Fans Goal of the Month. He also managed to get his hands on the official Premier League Goal of the Month award for December. And this morning, he has now picked up the official Premier League Player of the Month award for December. DCL becomes the first player to win the award while playing for a newly promoted side since Teemu Pukki did it in Norwich in August 2019, who was at that point also managed by Daniel Farke. It's been a really strong month for him. He's got 9 goals and 1 assist in his 14 starts this season for Leeds United. He's been a very important player. He's also outperforming his current XG, which is at 7.94. So it's always a good indicator that the player's slightly more clinical than the opportunities that he's been presented with right now. So the more support he gets, the more we can keep him fit, healthy, available, manage his minutes. Been a massive player for Leeds United so far and a hell of an addition for free. Not bad, yeah. 9 goals and 1 assist, not bad for a freebie. Let's move on. Talk about Jack Harrison and his move to Fiorentina. We spoke with this one last night with Andrea on the podcast, and this morning it appears to all now be done and dusted and confirmed. Sky Sports, Luca Silli and Gianluca Di Marzio have all come out this morning to say that the move between Leeds United and Fiorentina for Jack Harrison to join the Serie A side is all done and has been finalised, with Harrison currently in Florence to complete a medical. The deal will see Jack Harrison go on loan for the remainder of this season, and it does contain an option to buy of £7 million, which is a lot less than Leicester City offered Leeds United the year we got relegated. But the good news in this situation is it still does offer Leeds a PSR profit if come the end of the season, Fiorentina decide they want to action that option. And I always say if on that because we've been burnt so many times on options to buy by clubs on the continent. So we'll have to wait and see. Leeds appear right now, though, to be operating on a one-in, one-out policy when it comes to their matchday squad. Harrison's gone out, Bornauw has come in, and it could see the end of Jack Harrison's time at Leeds United permanently. He didn't have options to buy in his Everton loans, but this is the first time there has been one included. Fiorentina badly need wingers, so if he has a good time over there, he could be seeing his future in Italy. He's had some very good moments for Leeds United, and that should be said. He is leaving the club after some bad moments as well. He's had some very high highs and some pretty low lows. His goal against Brentford, his work in getting Leeds promoted to the Premier League as part of Marcelo Bielsa's side. But truth be told, since Marcelo Bielsa left Leeds United, Jack Harrison just hasn't been the same player, and he's struggled for form over the last 2 seasons. And maybe some warm weather and hanging around in Florence, which is not a bad place to play football, will help him, and the only way is up for that club right now, and he'll join former Leeds winger Manar Solomon as their other wide option as they look to try and get out of the relegation zone in Serie A. Let's move on. And Sebastian Bornauw's name feels like it's coming up constantly right now, but this could be the last time we talk about him this month. Fingers crossed, all going well. Bornauw won't be leaving Ellen Road during the winter transfer window, and according to Daniel Farke, any concerns about his fitness right now have all been alleviated, and the player is in full training and fully available for this weekend's game against Fulham. But the Belgian centre-back has been speaking about his lack of minutes at Leeds United, and right now he seems content with his position at the club and willing to fight for his role in the side. Speaking with Leeds Live, Bornauw had the following to say. It's part of football, of course. Everyone wants to play as much as possible. In the beginning of the pre-season, I had an injury. I was out for 4 or 5 weeks, so I missed a lot of pre-season. You are maybe a bit behind because you didn't get a full pre-season, and then you're trying to work as hard as possible to come in as quick as possible. I'm happy that I got to start 2 big games, and I hope many more. We have 4 good centre-backs, and we're working hard every day to make each other better and push ourselves. He seems happy enough with his position right now at the club. He has been very good, to be fair to him, when he has played in the Premier League games. Cup games are different, playing as a right player, or right full-back at times, but he has been very good in the centre-back positions when he has had to play for Leeds right now. He's a good deputy there. Maybe he'll get more minutes over the next coming weeks and months. Let's move into the rumour mill, and as always, these are back page stories that might not have a huge amount of truth to them. They are rumours until anything formally happens, but you can make up your own mind on what you think about this. I will start off with Martin Baturina, and the Como central midfielder has come up a few times over the course of this month. And now, according to Tutto Mercato Web, they say that Leeds United are monitoring the situation around the creative midfielder and have inquired about his availability to move this month. The 22-year-old would cost Leeds between 15 and 18 million euros, so between 12 and 14.5 million pounds. And Leeds could always amortise that fee over a couple of seasons. The same situation as Jurgen Strand Larsen. If Leeds were to make that move, 40 million is a lot of money. They spread that out over 5 years. It can make it an awful lot easier for Leeds to get those deals done. But Baturina, as I say, is described as a very technical player, and Leeds, according to this report, are looking to add different profile of midfielders to their squad right now. But Como are said to be open to a possible exit of the player at this point, but no decision has been made right now, and Leeds are yet to put in any kind of a formal offer. Being honest on this one, though, it feels very much like a kind of a summer move for Leeds United, maybe upgrading a position there and bringing in a more technically minded player rather than the hard working midfield that we've got now. They are good players in there as well. I'm not going to be unfair to the players from a technical perspective. But Buonanotte also joining Leeds United, and Daniel Farke indicating that he might play as an attacking central midfielder. It's getting a bit packed in that Leeds midfield area. Go back a couple of years ago, did we ever think we would say that Leeds United would have a packed midfield at any point? But it's an interesting one. He's a decent young midfielder. Again, probably not settled to life brilliantly in Italy. The next player we're going to talk about isn't the same boat as that, but it seems to be a running trend this year with players. Let's talk about Noah Lang, and this one was always going to come up. It's not a transfer window, but a Noah Lang story. According to Area Napoli, they claim that Leeds United are keen to sign Noah Lang this month, and the club, as we know, have held a long-standing interest in Lang. Leeds were interested in bringing Lang in this summer. A 26-year-old decided to move to Napoli. Leeds' interest at that point was only described as an interest, more so than any formal approaches for the club. Antonio Conte, though, at Napoli is keen to bring in some new additions this month and is looking to potentially move on a couple of players to make that happen. Lang, as I say, like Baturina and a few other players, hasn't really set the world on fire since he's moved to Italy. Monaco are also said to have a high level of interest in the player this month, and Leeds, from their perspective, according to this report, would be interested in a loan, maybe an option as well. But Napoli, according to sources, are only interested in a sale of the player. Leeds would like a loan with an option, maybe an obligation to buy the player come the end of the season. Last season, when he was at PSV Eindhoven, he scored 14 goals and added 12 assists in the area division. There's a good player in there. He's proven that in the past. Has had problematic times during his career as well, that should be said, but he appears to have matured a little bit over the last few years. The report on this story, though, does go on to say that there will likely be other Premier League clubs interested in him, probably more than likely clubs down around the same end of the table that we are at right now. There's a lot of competition for clubs trying to bring in attackers at this point to try and save their seasons. Wolves is the only outlier on that one, who appear to be getting ready for life in the Championship already. And again, if you want more detail on the Jorgen Strand Larsen link that came up yesterday, there's detail in the podcast, which I will link below at the end of this news, and you can check that out from last night. It's an interesting one, but yeah. The question has always been about the money. Dan Moylan on the Square Ball made a very good point about this. If Leeds amortise these payments over a 4 or 5 year contract, they could very possibly get a deal done in January if they need to. So it'll depend what they have to put up front, but it will be an interesting one. We will have, as I say, a watch along over on bigup.com tomorrow for the Fulham game. You can enter the predictions competition if you want to be in with a chance of winning some prizes over there as well. If that's your bag, go check it out. Outside of that, have a great rest of your day. I will talk to you later. See you. Bye.